Well, I loved the first film, and I loved the tone of the first film, and I thought that John Watts had made a great film inside such a huge world, inside of a world that had been done so often and people had become familiar with. It was art, like a completely new take. I love that so many of the characters were so relatable, and they all were full of complexity, which is very hard in a film like this. And when he came to me and said, he introduced this idea of Mysterio, I thought, well, isn't he a bad guy playing a villain and this and that? And he said no. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting take. And I just loved his take on Mysterio and his relationship with Peter Parker and Spider-Man, that they team up together and that they're friends, and that they share a similar history, and that's how they get so close so quickly. And I was really in that journey. It was exciting. I didn't realize how intimidating the journey would be, or how big this movie was going to be, until I came on set the first day. And I think that there's a way in which a very fun improvisational style that a lot of these movies are made with, that I started to have to get familiar with over time. And I love improvisation, I love that, but I was still trying to work out the character in the midst of it. So yeah, I was intimidated by it, and I was also excited by it, but I was also surrounded by a group of people who were very loving and inclusive, and allowed me to sort of slowly warm up into the process. To play Spider-Man is a lot, I would think, for someone, because you are holding a myth within something at the same time trying to make something your own, uniquely. And Tom is a deeply physical actor, and his instincts come really from the ground up, from literally his feet up. And I am amazed by that. I love watching every actor I work with work, and I'm fascinated by different people's techniques and their styles and what they do, and he was a complete original, and I adore him. In truth, when I first put it on, I was like, is this right? You know, it felt kind of great, but it was also like, is this cool? Like, and then I realized, particularly because the Mysterio costume is full with a lot of, there's a fishbowl helmet, and there's a history of the costume being this way or that way. I think a lot of people were really waiting to see what it would look like, but it is so beautifully crafted and so meticulously done. It's a really work of art, and it was incredible to wear that on my body. It gave me more than half of my character, and a tremendous confidence in this scene in this world, and all of a sudden everything made sense when I put it on. Well, the elemental creatures, I follow one of the elemental creatures through a rift in a space continuum, and find myself on another Earth trying to fight this creature. And what I don't know is that they sort of are expanding into different areas all over this Earth, as they did on my Earth. And I lost a lot on my Earth, and sacrificed a lot fighting this one that led me to this Earth, and find Nick Fury in the midst of battling this creature. And then we join up, knowing that we have a somewhat similar group of people on my Earth, but different in a lot of different ways. There are variations on things in this Earth. And I join up and I meet Spider-Man, and we have to fight these creatures as they appear and reappear. I mean, this world he knows so well. And in a lot of ways, he created this world as a character, and then I think also he's been in so many of these movies that it's second nature to Sam. I've actually known him for many years, so it was really wonderful to be able to sit with him in a scene and work with him just a bit. And he's wonderful. He's just a pro, and at ease, and coming up with ideas and things, and improvising in a way that I was in awe of. And he's wonderful.
It's a few months after the events of Endgame, and I think everyone is still kind of in that denial phase of the implication and the ramifications of what's happened. Because if you really did disappear and come back for 5 years, that's not something you get over in 5 months. And that's also not something you come to term with in 5 months. So I think at this stage, our heroes and our cast are still very much kind of a little bit taken aback by what's going on, and Peter Parker especially.
Being able to travel the world, I think, is really cool.
Yeah.
You know,
The best
other
part.
than the fact that we've never really seen Spider-Man be able to do his thing, I think, in anywhere else really than New York. So it's really cool to kind of see that somewhere else. But also just like selfishly, us just being able to like have a good time in all these amazing, beautiful places and like shooting at these gorgeous landmarks and like it's pretty wild.
John Watts is a director of representation. You know, if you look at our cast, it's an incredibly diverse cast, and he's representing a whole load of people. And by going to these different places, we're representing different countries. We're representing Italy and Czech Republic and England, which for me, being able to represent my own city is a real honour. Oh my goodness, yes.
Way
Definitely.
bigger. It's like it leveled up in
For sure.
all
I think there's like
senses.
twice as many action sequences.
It's
And there's never a dull moment, is there?
No, there's always
never a
something going
moment
on.
like watching when you're like, oh, this could be a bit shorter. But it's amazing.
I think what's special about I think this time around is the first time around we didn't really get to see much of her, but she kind of has a defense mechanism. And I think that kind of hard shell that she has, and her defense mechanism is really just to be sarcastic, and sometimes it comes off mean, but she's just very like blatantly honest, which I think is actually a really wonderful quality because nobody's ever truly honest nowadays. So you know, I don't know. I think it's kind of refreshing to have people like that, but I also think that sometimes, you know, you don't really know why people put those walls up, and I think it's nice as this, you know, movie continues that through their like her romance and awkward romance with Peter, I think she kind of has to strip away her wall a little bit and be a little bit more open, and you kind of see her, I don't know, she gets gooey, and you kind of get to see that she is really just like this kind of fragile, still very young woman, and so it's, I don't know, it's just nice to see different sides of her, while also kind of still staying true to the character that we've created.
I think he's really like jealous, but like in a really funny way, because he really, I think what made him feel special was that he was the only one that knew.
Yeah.
And like he kind of thinks it was something that's been taken away from him. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't hate MJ. I mean, like, they all love each other, so I don't think there's any way that he'd like...
Yeah, it seems like when you guys were on the bus and you do the FOS thing, that, like, you guys
had a moment.
You guys have become a team.
Yeah, it wasn't
He
like...
accepted it.
Yeah, it wasn't like, no, like, I don't want you a part of this, so...
If you had to bring in one more cast member to the FOS group, who would it be?
I don't know, man. I feel like the obvious answer would be like Tony.
I think Zach would be a
But
good
Zach
Zach
would
to
be
bring
like...
in.
Zach would probably kill the game, you know?
Yeah, Zach would
would
be
know
really
what's
good to bring in.
Yeah, so not Tony,
Yeah.
but Zach.
He wants to try and escape the responsibility of being Spider-Man, but unfortunately, the responsibility of being the friendly neighborhood superhero is not one you can run away from. So in this film, you'll see him learn and grow and realize that he has to step up, and this responsibility is bigger than just his vacation. So he grows up a lot in this film and takes on the mantle of an Avenger for the first time, really.